David was just a great guy. He was always in a great mood.
He was well known and very loved. Hear from friends of a cardiologist killed in a crash this weekend.
A southern Kentucky family seeking justice again after a man convicted of killing their loved one is released from prison.
Hundreds of Kentucky babies are born every year dependent on drugs.
It is heart-wrenching because they are innocent.
WKYT investigates how a southern Kentucky hospital is trying to curb this growing trend.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. His friends say he loved to cycle, but tonight a Lexington cardiologist is being remembered just a day after he was hit while riding his bicycle.
The Bourbon County coroner says Dr. David Cassidy was riding his bicycle yesterday on Lexington Road in Paris when he was hit by an SUV. Cassidy died at the scene. State police are calling the crash an accident. Our Kristen Candy is talking to Dr. Cassidy's friends in our top story at 6.
Dr. David Cassidy's friends say the avid cyclist always knew the best back roads to travel.
A lot of times we didn't know for sure where we were going, but somehow we always, came home safely. We just trusted his judgment that he knew the route, and we just followed his lead. He was a very good rider, very good cyclist.
Dr. Cassidy was biking on US 27 in Bourbon County when state police say a driver, Allison Bishop, hit him. She's not facing charges. Her family attorney released a statement saying this is a terrible tragedy for all concerned. Our thoughts and prayers today are with Dr. Cassidy's family, friends, and patients. We join with them in mourning at this difficult time of grief and loss.
You don't think about these things, that you take someone in such peak health and then, get a call, to completely change everything.
Dr. Cassidy had his own cardiology office here on Harrodsburg Road. Friends say he practiced what he preached, a healthy, active lifestyle.
I don't recall very often when he was home that he wasn't working in the yard or planning some kind of event. He's just a very energetic person to be around. It's a great neighbor and a great friend to have.
He was a devoted father, physician, and friend. When fellow cyclist Mark Hinkle died, Dr. Cassidy was instrumental in getting a memorial set up for him. Hinkle's widow, Mary Lynn, released a statement Monday saying, "We are saddened and devastated to learn of David's passing. David was a great friend to Mark and has been a great friend to my family this past year. Our hearts are with his family and friends, as well as the cycling team, who have lost 2 close friends within the year." In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Millward Funeral Home is handling the arrangements. A date and time for his funeral services are still pending. A 2015 study on bicycle safety found only Alabama ranked worse than Kentucky for being a bicycle-friendly state. The League of American Bicyclists considered a variety of factors, including legislation, enforcement of road rules, and education in their rankings. The group recommended Kentucky adopt a safe passing law with a minimum distance of 3 feet, update existing laws, and update the state's policies and procedures to promote safer bicycling.
He was convicted of murder after a deadly crash, but tonight he's out on bond. Earlier this year, a judge sentenced Justin Weebles to 20 years in prison. Police say he caused a crash that killed Jerry Thompson back in June of 2014. Weebles has filed an appeal with the Kentucky Supreme Court, and Phil Pendleton is talking to Thompson's family. They're upset over the decision.
Broken pieces of the tragedy that happened almost 2 years ago remain on the side of the busy roadway. The reminders of that day for a family that says they're still picking up the broken pieces in their lives.
He hit our brother head on. My God, isn't there any justice in this world?
Justin D. Weebles was convicted of murder. Police say the 23-year-old was speeding in the emergency lane when he collided with a van driven by Jerry Thompson, killing him. But after only serving a few months in prison, a judge allowed him out on bond because the case is on appeal.
Why? Why did this happen?
Judge Gregory Lay says he can't talk about the decision because judicial ethics prevent him from discussing ongoing cases. The victim's family is very outspoken about how they feel.
I think the jury should just be done away with because it's a farce, what they say doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That jury might as well not have been there.
Commonwealth's attorney Jackie Steele tells me this was highly unusual and very uncommon for someone convicted of murder to be able to make a bond and get out of prison. Judge Lay says it's common for murder cases with 20-year sentences to be automatically appealed to the state's high court. Still, Thompson's sisters say they think they are starting over in their quest for justice.
Well, I just think it contradicted the jury's decision. And actually, the jury only deliberated 45 minutes before they came back with a murder conviction.
The prosecutor says Weebles will be on home incarceration until the Supreme Court decides the case. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And the judge tells us that Weebles' case will probably be heard by the state Supreme Court within several months.
New tonight, Richmond police have arrested 5 people accused of beating up a woman. Justin White and Candace Brannon both face kidnapping and assault charges. Richmond police say the victim in the case was lured to an apartment. When she got there, police say White and Brannon would question and assault her when she denied giving information to police about a recent shooting incident. The victim eventually escaped and got in her car, but White, Brannon, and 3 others managed to follow her and get in her car. Those 3 others, Michael Walters, Aaron Estel, and Jordan Corneliuson, are charged with kidnapping. Police say they drove the victim to another apartment where White held a gun to her head. The group left the victim at the apartment and she later went to the hospital.
Some students living near UK's campus are making sure their cars are locked up tight tonight. Those living along Columbia Avenue say some of their cars were broken into. And in one of those cases, the car was actually stolen. Sean Moody's talking to a woman who says her brand new car was stolen just hours after she got it. He has this crime tracker alert.
These students told me they've always felt safe here on Columbia Avenue. They're just a short walk from the library. They've never had any issues. But after this, they say they're feeling pretty rattled.
Kelsey Webb has had some incredibly bad luck. After a crash last week, she'd just gotten a new Ford Focus Saturday night. Just a few hours later, on Sunday morning, it was gone. Her roommates said someone had rifled through their cars as well.
You know, we've never had any problems, and all of a sudden, we have these mass break-ins, and then my car gets stolen, and it just kind of makes you feel a little eerie. It's like, oh man, this is, you know, it's kind of creepy feeling.
Just today, Kelsey said she actually saw someone driving her car near North Broadway and 7th. She said it still had the same temporary tag, but the man drove off.
And, you know, I couldn't break traffic laws trying to get this car. I also didn't want to put myself in danger trying to get this car, but right away I called 911, told them what was going on, told them that I'd found the car, and they automatically sent cars out there to look.
Kelsey said this whole experience has taught her and her friends a good lesson.
It's like all my life my parents have been telling me, don't leave your purse in your car, don't leave your computer in your car, but it's like from this I really learned like it can happen at any time. Obviously I wasn't thinking I was going to get a brand new car and it would be stolen, and so it really just proves, you know, you really need to expect the unexpected.
And Kelsey said she wasn't able to get a good enough look at the man driving her car to get a detailed description. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
And Webb said someone had also taken gas out of the tanks of one of the other cars.
The number of babies born dependent on drugs continues to rise in our state. This is a topic our investigations team has examined in the past, and now a southeastern Kentucky hospital is giving a drug to pregnant mothers to treat the drug addiction. WKYT's Miranda Combs has the story.
Outside of this building, life can be a struggle.
The drug problem has always been an issue here in Clay County.
But this small room can be a fresh start. About 200 babies a year lay down on these blankets. They are monitored and comforted, but there's a percentage in here that hurts.
It is heart-wrenching because they are innocent. They can't do anything about it. I mean, the mom's making decisions for the baby.
And about 30% of the babies born here are born dependent on drugs.
Yeah, they've made that choice, but especially in this area, you know, that's kind of the normal. That's how they're brought up sometimes.
Christina Birchfield has been a delivery nurse at Manchester Memorial for 4 years. Recently, they've made some changes. Instead of just seeing what comes through the door, they are catching moms before the birth and putting them on the treatment drug Subutex, which is similar to Suboxone but used for pregnant women.
I would say since we've started the Subutex program, we've seen About the same number of substance abuse mothers, but we've seen a lot less withdrawal symptoms in the babies.
They say moms that follow their program of twice-a-week checks and constant monitoring along with the Subutex are usually able to keep their babies here. Birchfield says when she started here, 25% of the babies delivered were transferred out at birth because the withdrawal symptoms of the babies were too much for the small nursery to handle. And this is where they typically have to come, Kentucky Children's Hospital's neonatal ICU, where at any given time as many as 20% of the babies in here are withdrawing from drugs.
Because these babies are needing treatment. So some of them will stay 30 days, some of them will stay 2 weeks, and some of them may stay 2 months or even longer, depending on whether we can capture their symptoms or not.
Dr. Henrietta Bada has been tracking the rise in babies born dependent for years.
You're frustrated.
Well, I am, because we keep on seeing these babies and they're helpless. And we are the ones that should be taking care of them.
The numbers statewide of neonatal abstinence syndrome, or babies born dependent on drugs, continue to rise. In the year 2000, there were 29 babies in the state born with NAS. Jumped to 2013, Bada says there were 1,000. In 2014, there were 1,400.
I think if we can address the mother's issue, then we as pediatricians taking care of the baby would be able to help address the baby's issue.
Bada says babies do still withdraw from Subutex, the treatment drug being used back in Manchester. But Birchfield says the symptoms they see from Subutex babies are less severe, and they can handle them here. That 25% transfer rate has dropped to 8% since they started the Subutex program.
We've seen a lot of improvement with those babies and the care that we're able to provide them.
Because the main goal, they say, is to keep the baby home and keep mom on a steady path to sobriety.
All of these moms want to do what's best for their babies, but the drugs have such control over their bodies that, mentally and physically, they're not able to stop.
At Manchester Memorial, mothers stay in the Subutex program for at least 6 weeks after delivery. Both that hospital and Dr. Bada at UK say there aren't enough resources for mothers struggling with addiction after birth. Dr. Bada told us Subutex is a supplement to mental health and addiction programs, but shouldn't be a mainstay for these mothers.
Those numbers are really tragic. When you talk about Subutex in the hospital, they feel like it's also a help in terms of the mom and their mental well-being?
Right, because think about it. These mothers are getting introduced to a doctor. They're getting that prenatal care that a lot of times they weren't getting before. So it's a win-win in that respect.
All right, Miranda, thank you. Well, next here on WKYT News, spring is here and the Kentucky Wildlife Center is busy. How you can help some baby animals.
Beautiful summer-like weather across the Bluegrass State for now, but I've got a cold front to our west. We'll track it at the Bluegrass State when I come back. Stay with us.
WKYT is putting the new back in late news with newer stories and more updates. So there's less repetition, which means no wasted time. WKYT News at 11. Newer, fresher, worth staying up for.
People really do live life in their Toyotas. Live well in the bold Toyota Camry. Now with 0.9% financing for 72 months. Or lease Camry for $189 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
What's the biggest thing in home comfort? Fayette Heating and Air, the largest HVAC company in central Kentucky. When your system needs service, bigger is better. That's because they have more than 70 vehicles on the road. So there's one near your home 24/7, 365. Call to schedule your complete system checkup, only $59. For expert service day or night, everywhere in central Kentucky.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid, the SUV that dares to go beyond utility. Lease the 2016 NX 200 Turbo for $349 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
I've always dreamed of owning my own business, but it takes a lot of work to make a dream come true. Luckily, my John Deere dealer made it easy. My 3E tractor handles every job I needed to. without breaking a sweat. And the money I saved lets me know I'm doing something right.
Introducing the best-in-class, no-cost 6-year powertrain warranty on John Deere compact tractors.
Save at Limestone with an E-Series mower and loader tractor package. Find details in a store near you at limestoneflw.com.
At Central Bank, we like to call ourselves your friendly neighborhood financial experts because we get to help an entire community of customers achieve their financial dreams. So whether you're opening a checking account or buying your first home, you've got a team of local experts to coach you all the way.
Wow.
See what 70 years of experience can do for your financial future with Central Bank.
How many times are you going to drive off with those things?
Official bank of UK Athletics.
To do the job right, you need the right equipment. Central Equipment Company has provided the right equipment for your farm and yard projects for more than 40 years. So for knowledgeable professionals when it comes to advice on mowing or trimming, seeding to sowing, tilling to repairs, quality name brands, and the right equipment to get the job done right, depend on Central Equipment Company.
People really do live life in their Toyotas. Live well in the well-equipped Toyota Sienna. Now with 0% financing for 60 months or $1,000 cash back. Toyota, let's go places.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Springtime is a busy time of the year for the Kentucky Wildlife Center here in Lexington.
The center on Leestown Road takes care of dozens of animals ranging from coyotes to week-old raccoons. When people start taking care of their lawns this time of year, they often find abandoned baby animals.
They start mowing their yards, trimming the trees, and they find the orphan babies or a tree's cut down and the nest is destroyed.
The center encourages people to drop those baby animals off to them, but to take care of those babies, the center needs volunteers and donations. We have a full list of what you can do to help out on our website, WKYT.com.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
It's a summer-like pattern, at least for a few more days across the Bluegrass State. Temperatures today into the 80s. 8 days ago, it was snowing around here. We look outside right now, and we see those numbers still between 80 and 86 degrees. That 86 in Louisville, 82 Lexington, Frankfort, 84 into Jackson, Middlesboro, northeastern Kentucky, around 85 degrees. We're not just going to totally be selfish with all the warm air. We're going to share it with our neighbors to the north, the east, the south, and even the west. Look at the 80s all the way into parts of the Great Lakes as of now. Things beginning to take off in terms of we're greening up the Bluegrass State right now. The leaves are really now beginning to take hold. WKYT Weather Garden out back. Interesting numbers today. It's 82 with a humidity at 20%. The air is desert-like across the region. It is very, very rare to have 80s and temperature or humidity levels, I should say, in the teens or even around 20%. Just crazy dry out there. Looking off to the west, we are dealing with a little moisture now from the Show Me State of Missouri into parts of the Deep South, where Houston, Texas, some cases last night, foot to a foot and a half of rain. This whole system is going to slowly work its way toward the east as we go through the next couple of days. That means the potential for at least some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not so much for the day tomorrow. That Tuesday forecast, again, 80 to 85. It's warm. It is mainly sunny. Can't rule out a late day thunderstorm on Wednesday. Better chance coming up for your Thursday. Not like it's going to rain the entire time, though. And the latest computer runs were just a little more ragged in terms of the overall precipitation trends. Now, tomorrow afternoon, upper 70s, low 80s, likely 80 to 85, I think a good bet in many cases. We go toward your Wednesday. Clouds are going to increase. Humidity levels are going to be up there, and anyone is fair game for a late day shower or thunderstorm with temperatures again close to 80 degrees. We go into the day on Thursday that will give us the best chance for some showers and some thunderstorms with daytime temperatures that will mainly be into the mid and maybe an upper 70. We look into the weekend, which looks good. The next week, if we want to get a different pattern that will give us the chance for some needed rains around here, it's dry across most of our region. We're going to see this pattern begin to flex a little springtime muscle. You get a trough developing across the Plain States. That's a fancy way of us saying jet stream's going to take a big dip. High pressure off the eastern seaboard, warm air that will eventually come off the Gulf of Mexico that can produce a stormy pattern from the Plain States all the way into the Ohio Valley. So next week and beyond may start to look and feel a little more like true springtime around here. Right now it's all about summer. 80 to 85 coming up again tomorrow before we get in on at least some scattered storms later this week.
What are seasons? We don't worry about those at all around here. We don't see them anymore.
Think about it. The past 7, 8 days, we've had every season wrapped into 1 week.
Kind of scary.
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
A contract extension for a UK assistant, Rob.
A new deal. It may very well have kept him at Kentucky. And before we learn where Marquise Bolden is going, we have to know when he'll make his announcement. The latest on Bolden is next in sports.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat.
Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During the spring clearance event, new 2015 Jeep Renegade Sports, just $189 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
Central Equipment and Kubota, two names synonymous with quality. In 1982, our family business, Central Equipment, began selling Kubota equipment. Today, we've expanded our offerings to include the full line of Kubota products, from mowing and compact tractors to hay equipment, spreaders, utility vehicles, and large tractors for your farm. This season, trust the experts at Central Equipment and see the latest lineup of Kubota products with 0% financing available.
Shouldn't you have a checking account that makes your life easier? Introducing Easy Checking from Republic Bank. Relax with no minimum balance or monthly maintenance fee. Easily send money through our app with Mobile Pop Money. Remembering your password is as easy as scanning your fingerprint or eye using iPrint ID. And for easy access to your money, you can use 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs worldwide. Easy checking for your hard-earned money. We're Republic Bank, and it's just easier here.
Do you want to lose weight quickly and safely? Do you want to be healthy for a lifetime? Kim did and lost 238 pounds at Ageless Medical Weight Loss. Betty did and lost 135 pounds. The Ageless program is a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution. Call today for a free consultation.
Hi, Shane Huffman with Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort, where today you can lease a brand new 2016 Honda CR-V for just $259 a month. Plus, we're going to back all our deals with our 110% price protection guarantee. That's Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort. Huffman has it.
I have to like my doctors. I've got to feel like they have a personal interest in me. Not that I'm a basketball coach, but that I'm somebody they know and they are concerned about. I could go any place for my medical care, but I chose Danville and the Ephraim McDowell Medical Center.
A trusted leader in heart care, Ephraim McDowell Regional Medical Center, where excellence is our only standard.
Enjoy 0% financing for 5 years and free TVs with your qualifying purchase at Sleep Outfitters. Get this Sealy Pillow Top Queen set with gel foam on sale now for just $4.99, plus a free TV. Save hundreds on a special purchase of Tempur-Pedic adjustable bases while they last. 0% financing for 5 years, free TVs, store-wide savings, and save hundreds on Tempur-Ergo adjustable foundations. Only at Sleep Outfitters.
Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During Ram Truck Month, new 2016 Ram, Bighorn Crew Cab 4-wheel drives are only $199 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
And Marquise Bolden, and Kentucky fans are certainly wondering when it will come. Well, apparently sometime after tomorrow. Sunday, Bolden celebrated his 18th birthday, and he had said previously he wanted to make a decision by that date, but no word. The decision is down to Kentucky and Duke. Bolden, who's out of DeSoto, Texas, also says TCU is still in the mix. He says he's not basing his decision on which UK and Duke players are staying or leaving for the NBA. DeSoto coach Chris Dyer told the Herald Leader today he and Bolden will discuss the players' recruitment tomorrow morning and hopefully set up an announcement for later this week.
I try not to really let that play into my decision because, I mean, I don't really want to base it off of somebody else. I just want to make my own decision. I mean, it's big time. This is my whole future right here, depending on this decision. So, I mean, I just want to take my time and really just, like, make sure that I'm making that right decision.
EKU basketball dealt a tough blow with the announcement that Javante Hawkins is transferring to Fordham. There, Hawkins will play for Jeff Neubauer, who brought him to Richmond after the 2014 season. Hawkins, who came to EKU from South Florida, averaged 17 points and 5 rebounds a game. He is a graduate transfer and will be immediately eligible. Jimmy Brumbaugh, Kentucky's defensive line coach, has a contract extension and a raise. The deal is $300,000 per year through 2018. That's a one-year extension and a raise of $50,000 per season. According to the Courier-Journal, the raise came after Brumbaugh turned down an offer from another FBS school. A Kentucky player has led all SEC defensive linemen in tackles in each of the last 3 seasons. Trainer Bob Baffert has lost a Derby contender. Cupid is out because of a breathing problem. Cupid won the Rebel Stakes at Oaklawn, but then ran 10th in Saturday's Arkansas Derby. He won off the favorite. Baffert said the colt would undergo surgery today at Rood and Riddle here in Lexington to clear his breathing passage. Now, it's not a serious problem. Cupid could still be considered for the Preakness, and Baffert still has more spirit to run in the Derby. We are just 19 days away now from the Kentucky Derby, and Gunrunner was on the Churchill Downs track training this morning. The winner of the Louisiana Derby and the Risen Star is the Road to the Derby points leader. He breezed 5 furlongs in 1 minute over a fast track.
I think as things sort out closer and stuff, you get to a feeling of how well they're going to do on that day. You know, right now I'm just extremely happy, or like I mentioned, you know, proud of the condition they're in to get here, and now the focus will be on, you know, sharpening them up or whatever you think that they need between now and the Derby.
Kawhi Leonard is the NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and the Warriors have not said whether Steph Curry will play in tonight's playoff game against Houston. He injured his ankle in Game 1, did not take part in the shoot-around earlier today.
Thank you, Rob. A final check of your First Alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, 3 years after she lost her leg in the Boston Marathon bombings, a victim races again.
Kentucky Lottery jackpot sequence has been initiated. Prepare for current jackpot amount.
Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $227 million.
Farmers' hours are sun up to sundown. John Deere and Central Equipment are experts in the tools of their trade, like the new 5 E-Series from John Deere with open operator station in the 5045E through 5101E. See the E-Series and full line of John Deere equipment at Central Equipment.
Folks around here appreciate good basketball and fast thoroughbreds. But most of all, we love our tough, dependable Ram trucks. And when it comes to Ram sales, nobody does it better than Bob Allen Motor Mall. Bob Allen is the #1 volume Ram dealer in Kentucky, 5 years running. And all new Ram purchases include powertrain coverage for life. Save more during Ram Truck Month at the Bob Allen Motor Mall on Maple Avenue in Danville. It's good to be #1.
Thank you for the cereal.
The crayons made a big difference.
May not seem like much to you,
but it means the world to us.
Kroger stores are increasing local community rewards donations to $3.6 million, and you can help decide where that money goes. Sign up at Kroger.com/community rewards and link your Plus card to the local group that matters most to you.
When we all join together, there's nothing we can't do. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Henry! Oh my.
Good. Bye. According to Kelley Blue Book, Subaru has the highest resale value of any brand. Again, you might find that comforting. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Right now, get 0% financing on new 2016 Legacies at Quantrell Subaru.
Hey man, who do you think Captain D was?
Captain D was actually regional semi-pro hockey captain Doug LaCour. Fueled by his voracious love of seafood, Doug would punch holes in the ice with his bare hands for a mid-practice snack.
You You're full of it.
He sure is, Paul. Full of Captain D's Southern Style Whitefish, topped with a special blend of Nashville hot seasonings for our Nashville hot fish. For full meals at just $4.99, it's gotta be D's.
We started with the class-leading RX. We gave it paddle shifters to help you command the road. A sport mode to help you control the road. And a sport-tuned suspension to help you connect with the road. The Lexus RX F Sport. This is the RX Elevated. Lease the 2016 RX 350 for $419 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
The John Deere Gator, a work or play horse. Get your favorite model at Central Equipment. The RSX 850i is all new and all powerful, and the heavy-duty XUV offers 1,500 pounds of towing and 1,400 pounds of payload capacity. Visit Central Equipment for your John Deere Gator.
Pretty warm evening out there.
It is. It's in low 80s still right now. I mean, that's crazy for this time of year. Back into the low 80s tomorrow. Could be a shower or thunderstorm later Wednesday. Best chances on Thursday as of now. Temperatures remain above normal through the end of the week.
Enjoy a beautiful night out there.
We will see you back here tonight at 11. Have a good one.